Nigeria has the largest proven gas reserves in Africa and the 9th largest in the world, with 5.68 billion cubic meters of natural gas, even more than the proven oil reserves, which is at 36.97 million barrels. The country's gas reserves are over 900 times the total oil reserves, yet it has received less attention. One of the consequences of that has been huge losses through gas flaring, which is an offshoot of crude production. Between 2016 and 2020, Nigeria flared over 1.25 trillion cubic feet of natural gas into the atmosphere, and that's according to the NNPC oil and gas reports. PWC estimates the loss of 233 billion naira to gas flaring. That translates to 3.8% of global total cost in 2018.
For a long time, there was no use for gas, particularly locally. So it was until 1999 when you had NLNG, and you began to have the also condensed and NGLs and all of that, those international projects, those projects for gas export. So Nigeria began to export gas and flaring started to reduce.
The issue was recently deliberated on the floor of the House of Representatives, and it considered that in 2002, NNPC Limited and the Algerian National Oil and Gas Company signed a memorandum of understanding for a $12 billion 4.128-kilometer natural gas pipeline project. This was projected to have an annual capacity of 30 billion cubic meters that will extend gas supply to Europe. There's a $2.89 billion Trans-Nigeria gas pipeline, which should run from Kwaibo Terminal to the gas terminal in Kano. It has 3.5 billion cubic meters capacity per year. There's also the 678-kilometer West African gas pipeline, a natural gas pipeline to supply gas from Nigeria's Escravos region of the Niger Delta area to Benin, Togo, and Ghana. The state of these projects have become topics of conversations after the federal government responded to the need to plug the gas supply shortage in Europe following Russian invasion to Ukraine.
The House resolved to urge the NNPC to provide information regarding the implementation, funds utilization, and status of the project. Also urge the NNPC to review the National Gas Master Plan in relation to the project to conform with the variables of today's global economy.
Although there have been agreements and arrangements on pipeline projects, the private sector remains the backbone of investment in the sector. This, according to Dr. Ayodele Oni, is what the Petroleum Industry Act offers.
And of course, we've got our own local issues too. We need to do much more in terms of policy stability and seeing policies through.
While attention is currently on exporting gas to boost the country's foreign reserve, there are others in the sector who believe that areas such as converting flared gas into useful form to power machines, produce fertilizer, among others, are the low-hanging fruit and should be given priority.
Based on statistics, about 2015, we're consuming about maybe 50,000 metric tons, but as of now, we're consuming about 1.2 million metric tons, and Nigeria still doesn't have capacity for it. And that was why, the Nigeria LNG, decided to domesticate all its production so that they can increase local demand. So I would expect that even though, helping countries like Ukraine, Europe, and and all of that is good because it helps us with foreign earnings, it's still important for us to domesticate, try to look at the local market, see how you can increase the supply, before we now decide to go global.
Whether for domestic use or for export, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has turned attention to the vast potential of gas, which is in Nigeria and remains largely untapped. Ini John Mekwa, Channels Television News.